Good afternoon, reefers. Welcome back to Dan's Reef. Just want to give just a new introduction really to the tank, the new tank to me, which is the Waterbox Frag 85.3. So you probably saw in my last video, I transferred the stuff, livestock and rock from the M90, which was actually over there. So as you can see, the lounge is looking a bit more back to normal. But yeah, so we've got the frag up and running now. The move over went really well. So I, if you remember, I had the frag tank, just the tank only, filled just below the weir overflow box, and I had that up to temperature, and I had it up to the salinity the same as the M90. So the plan was I was going to move over the rock straight into the tank and the sand, and then I was going to use the other tank to fill the sump. So just a little information on this tank. So the Fluval M90 I came from was about 130 litres, I think I was running it roughly at, after rock and sand. And the Waterbox Frag 85.3, this tank, so it's 900mm wide, 600mm deep, and it's 410 mil tall. So it's 16 inches tall, which is obviously a bit lower than your standard sort of reef tanks, and I quite like that really, because it's so easy to get in. I like the fact you can, when the pumps are off, you can look down into the tank. That's always really cool to do. But the actual move itself went really well. So the fish were pretty easy to catch. I left about sort of 6 inches in the bottom of the tank, and I caught the fish, put them into a little holding tank, while I then got all the sand out, which was a little bit more messy. But it all went in okay. And the corals were pretty much back out straight away really, which was nice to see. But as I said, it was a bit of a step up from the M90. So the aquarium volume of water on this is 204 litres, and the sump is supposed to be 116, so total system is 320 litres. I think the sump literage is probably give or take 10 litres, I'd say, in the sump, because obviously they can all run slightly different heights. But with displacement and stuff, it's probably a 300 litre system now, this is, which is quite nice. But as you can see, the tank is really well made. I was really lucky to pick this up, and as I say, thanks again to Richard, who I brought it off and did the deal. But it's been really good. So I'll just give you a little step back of what it looks like in my living room. So as I said, we're now back in this corner. The return pump at the minute is still the TMC 2000. It's actually a 2000 litre an hour pump, but that came off the M90. So it's running at full chat at the minute. It's maxed out. Pump speed 20, so it's not ideal for the long term. It does seem to be running it pretty well at sort of 2000 litres an hour, even with the head height from what it was in the M90. But I am going to change the pump because it's not quite powerful enough to run the manifold. So I will be changing that. But as you can see, it's nice now to have a bit of just a bit of depth, a bit more depth to the tank. So there'll be some new rock work probably going in at some point, just to sort of bulk it out a little bit. But as I said, the tank itself is really good condition, so it's really nice. But the corals doing really good. So this has grown quite a bit. This GSP type 1 has gone getting there bit by bit. The algae is sort of tapering off now. As I said, apart from this side, on the rocks, there's a little bit on that peak there, but as you can see, the rest of it, tiny bit that side, but this side is all clear. So a couple of days ago, I went to my one of my local marine fish shops. It was actually TMC, not TMC, sorry, Tees Reef, which is based in Yardley in Birmingham, not too far from where I live. And I went and picked up a this candy cane, which is pretty nice, and I picked up another Zoa frag, which is just at the back here. So it's just the one with the two colours there. But as you can see, the algae is really dissipating now. It's going the other way. Since the move, alkalinity is stable. It's holding at about 8.4, and I'm still dosing the coralline grow. I've also got a cleaner shrimp in there now, so he's another new addition. He only went in a few days before the move from the M90. So fish stock is still the same. Still got the 3 yellowtail damsels and the silver spot tang, or yellow eye bristle-tooth tang. There's quite a few variants of the name really, but the overflow box at the minute, so I've not got the glass cover on because I'm still running the center mount for the TMC photons. So obviously I'm not, I can't actually get that in. Still running the cheap Jecod 4,000 litre an hour pump that side, and I'm actually running this is just a sort of test of a pump really, but it was a cheap one off Amazon. It's supposed to be around 9,000 litres an hour, although it's probably more like 6,000 litres an hour, to be honest with you, but it seems to be doing okay. I think I will end up changing it, and I'll probably end up using one or the other to use it to mix my salt. But there's a little bit more flow in there, so that's pretty nice. I'll show you the sump. Still got a bit to do down here really, so just take a step back. But essentially the water obviously runs in the back left side. It comes over. At the minute I'm still running the filter socks on this, so 200 micron, but I've got some 100 micron ones coming. I've got a Red Sea cup in the second one, but there's nothing in there at the minute. The reason why that piece of foam's in there is the actual tank was making a bit of noise, so I decided to order a silencer ring, which came and it fits and it works, but I need to drill some holes in it to make them slightly larger. So until I do that, that little piece of foam there is just keeping that completely silent really. Falls down underneath that side, it obviously goes into the center chamber. So at the minute I've just got my media, which came out of the M90, and I've added just a few loose ones in there. I need to get some of the media racks so I can just stack them up and it'll look a bit neater. The heater's in there, just one heater at the minute. Have got a second heater to go in as a backup. Obviously it runs down that back side, goes into the far right rear chamber, and that's where the return pump is. So I've got the UV set up that side at the minute. So because I'm only running a 2,000 litre an hour pump, it hasn't got the oomph to run the manifold. So it does come out the manifold. I did have it hooked up, but what was happening was it wasn't flowing properly through the UV. There was massive air pockets in it, so it just didn't have enough flow. So at the minute I'm still running the Eheim compact, which is 1,000 litres an hour, and it's turned down a little bit. It's running about 600 litres an hour or so on that as a guesstimate, but it is working. And this front section here is the ATO reservoir, which I'm using. Holds about, it's hard to tell, so when I filled this up it took half a 25 litre container or just over, so I think it's around 15 to 17 litres of RO water in that chamber. So at the moment it seems to be lasting okay. I've had this running since last Sunday, and I think I've topped it up once. So controllers and whatnot, just got the extension that side. Still need to do a bit of tidying up in here really. It's not the best. I didn't really know off the gate where I wanted stuff placed, so I'm probably going to move some bits and pieces around, but as you can see it's all running. A lot of the stuff is just down that side. Again, every tank's got a bit of a downside, obviously still being 3 foot with such a big sump. Obviously there's not a lot of room this side to you know, to stack your equipment. I was thinking about making some sort of custom mounting board that I can sort of pull out and hide all the gubbins behind that, and just have all the sort of controllers mounted to make it look a bit neater. But yeah, gate valve, really easy to set up and dial in, which was nice, didn't take too long. But and for any of you that don't know, I did mention in the previous video, but this is originally a black tank, and it's been vinyl wrapped in white, so obviously that's why the doors look like they do. There's a few little tiny little marks here and there, but as I said, on the whole, the stickers are from the previous owners. So, you know, bubble magnets. In terms of the skimmer, so I've just today took off my Tunzi 9004, and I did have it in the sump. However, the sump level didn't require it, the water level wasn't high enough, believe it or not, because obviously it's an internal mounted skimmer that normally sort of in tanks or rear chambers, so the water level was about ½ an inch from actually the inlet, so it wouldn't work in the sump. I had to have it running to the side of that wave maker, excuse me, but I've actually sold that now, so that's going tomorrow, and I've got a Bubble Magnus Curve 5 on the way, just as a sort of temporary one to get me out the gate. So there'll be no skimmer on this for a day until that one comes, but it said it should be okay. The Tunzi only came off of this today, probably about an hour ago. But yeah, I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Obviously, need to get another pump, need to get some more rock. But the actual move itself to this tank, it went really well. Fish are really happy. The damsels are out a lot more than what they were in the M90, and I think it's just the extra depth really. They seem to venture a bit further from the rock, and obviously the tang is a bit more sort of relaxed, and I think he's enjoying the extra depth really that he's got now. So it's just nice. There'll be some more fish stock going in this at some point. I'm trying to source a couple of bits, but some fish at the minute in the UK are just hard to get hold of at the minute. There doesn't seem to be much coming through what you want. You can get tangs, bits and pieces like that, but it's just all the other little bits. There's not that much knocking around at the moment. But as I said, the step up from the M90 to this is just an absolute game changer. I'm blown away by the quality of this tank. It's nice to have black silicone. The rear of the tank is all glass. The rear box is glass. It's just so easy to wipe over. As I said, I did manage to get the arch in the middle a little bit higher. Excuse me, when I did the rock scape. So I did have to break the rock scape in the middle, which is why there's a lot more putty on that middle section, and that was the bit I separated, and the rest of it all stayed as just two large pieces. And obviously these two little separate islands, if you will, are just sort of on their own anyway. But yeah, really happy, and it'll be nice to get some more stock in here, especially the fish. Did come with a lid, which is just down this side. It's got a D&D lid on it, which I do put on it. I've only just been able to put it on though, because when I had the skimmer in there, obviously it was sticking out the tank and I couldn't put the lid on. But yeah, I'll go a little bit closer and try and get a little close up of the fish and the tang. So they always look bigger on camera, I find, the fish, but the tang, I think he's probably about 2.5 inches. So he's not huge, but as I said, you know, algae wise, he does graze. I see him picking all the time really, but in terms of, you know, why the algae is suddenly turning the corner, I mean, compared to if you go back a couple of videos ago to the M90, this rockwork was absolutely covered in green algae, and before that it was like a horrible brown slime really. It was just everywhere, all over the sand, it was all over the rocks. I was having to clean the glass, you know, 3-4 times a week. Excuse me. But as I said, even before I moved the tank, it was starting to go the other way. So I think it's just sort of maturing really. I said this has been a week since the transfer, and it was already going the other way in the M90. So, but as you can see, he's not a shy fish, the tank, which is nice. But I do need to get some more fish. The corals, the zoas slowly, you know, they're happy. There's not massive growth. I don't think I particularly helped myself when I mounted them. I think I mounted them slightly because I couldn't trim the frag plugs when I put them in. And I think they're sort of that orange one, for example, has not really progressed that much since it's gone in. But I think it's just going to take time to come over that edge of the frag plug and sort of branch out. This LPS, I almost lost it really. I think it was the ALK depletion that was causing that to strip back. And it has stripped back a lot. It's looking a bit better now. It was looking like it was completely gone, but I've moved it from where the candy cane is now, and it's there loose at the minute. I'm just going to see if it turns around. It is getting a little bit of colour back, so it might possibly come back, but we'll see. We'll see if it does. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Excuse me. If anyone's got any questions, then stick them in the comments, and I'll try and answer it. So the plan going forward with dosing at the minute is before I did the move, I tested my magnesium. That came in at 1350, so that was okay. Calcium, I haven't actually tested calcium. I don't think at the minute it's going to be that far off where it needs to be. I think sort of 450 and above is pretty acceptable for calcium, but I do need to get another calcium testing kit, so I'll do that in the next week, and I'll let you know. But the alkalinity is stable at 8.8. Well, it's about 8 to 8.4, and pH is between 8 and 8.2. It's normally always 8.2. Sometimes when I test, it does a slight drop to 8, but it depends on what time of the day. I think between the morning and evening, if you do 2 tests of your pH, you'll probably find it does swing ever so slightly, but as I said, generally it's always been pretty consistent. So I haven't added any more sand in. This is the sand that came from the M90, so it's deeper at the back, and it's not as deep at the front. Could probably do with a little bit more sand, to be honest, but as I said, the tank's doing really well. So this is, that's doing quite nicely. But yeah, as I said, really enjoying it. It's a definite step up. I've been after the candy canes for quite a while, and the reef shops I've been to just excuse me, didn't have any in. So when I saw some at Tees Reef a couple of days ago, he had four frags of it, all the same, 2 sort of heads or 2 clumps of it, and I thought I've got to have a piece of that. And I was after another plug of zoas, but I do need to get some more. I'd like to get some more floaty sort of wavy corals, if you were, a bit like Pulse and Xenia, but there's some LPS type corals you can get, which are a little bit the same. But I'm going to wait till this tank has settled down, and then I'm going to try and get some more frags and try and get some stuff on the sort of tops of these rocks, just to give it a bit more. But hopefully we'll start getting some growth, and now that it's sort of settling down a bit, and we'll try and get some more fish stock in. But as I said, at the minute, it's cost of living and stuff. It's not a cheap hobby. You know, it can be really expensive, but as I said, it's so nice when you sit here now of an evening, just having that extra depth on that side. It's almost like, because I've got a sofa just this side, so when I sit here on this sofa, that's pretty much the view I get, you know. And it's nice to have that 2 foot depth now. It's almost like looking at another tank from that angle. And I've got a sofa this side as well, so normally when I sit back on this sofa, that's sort of where I'm at with the viewing of it, really. So it's nice. As I said, that wall's looking a bit cleaner now. There's still some bits and pieces to sort out, but yeah, the tank itself is really nice. As I said, really nice quality. Everything seems to be running really nice. It's nice to have the extra capacity now to try and do a bit more to it. So I'll keep you posted, but for the minute, that's my new Waterbox Frag 85.3. Thanks a lot, guys. If you've got any questions, just stick them down in the comments. Thanks.